Wilson was oddly silent, but complicit. All right, why was she complicit? Because, well, she knew she was getting a signature shoe for 2 years, and she let Caitlin Clark take all that.
Looks like Aya Wilson just got exposed. She's out here acting all love and light. But word is she's secretly fuming over Caitlin Clark's new Nike deal. And honestly, who can blame her? Caitlin stepped into the WNBA and took over before Wilson could even react. But instead of showing love, Aya's throwing shade behind the scenes. Let's get into the drama, because this tea is hot.
Not looking good for Nike yet again, dog. I don't even know how many videos I'm gonna make today about Nike, but it looked like Nike is definitely the star of the damn weekend. All started with the Super Bowl commercial, them snubbing Caitlin, them putting Caitlin in, them fixing the damn commercial, them dropping Asia's shoe. Now, come to find out, A'ja Wilson has single-handedly killed the WNBA media credibility forever. Yes. Oh my goodness. These women was lying. Oh God almighty. They made sell over Caitlin Clark getting a shoe deal over A'ja. Oh, I remember.
As we all know, Aya Wilson just dropped her new Nike signature shoe. Congrats, right? But here's where it gets shady. Remember a few months ago when folks were up in arms asking, why is Caitlin Clark getting a Nike deal? What about Aya Wilson? People were outraged, acting like Nike was disrespecting Aya just for considering Caitlin. Fans were furious, calling it favoritism, unfair, and basically painting Caitlin as the villain of the WNBA.
A'ja Wilson, who? Why? Yeah, she's some WNBA player. Who? No, she's one of the all-time greatest players ever. Why?
Aya Wilson's new Nike shoe just dropped. But here's the twist. She's known about this deal for 2 years. That means while fans were tearing Caitlin Clark down, claiming she didn't deserve her own sneaker, Aya stayed silent and played along like she had no idea.
Do you have any ideas what you would want your future sneaker to look like?
I think the biggest thing for me is just I would love a low-top shoe. I play in a low-top shoe, so that's something that I would love to have carry over, and something that looks good. That's so key to me.
So y'all can record this, you cannot record it, but the biggest thing I want everybody to hear me say right now, it's about fucking time.
Yeah. Oh, but it gets worse. Aya didn't just stay quiet. She let it happen. This wasn't some, oh, I had no idea situation. She knew her deal was locked in for 2 years and still watched as her fans attacked Caitlin Clark for months. Meanwhile, Caitlin was just trying to survive her rookie year, dealing with brutal fouls, nonstop drama, and even the league hanging up on her. And through it all, Aya sat back, watching the internet tear Caitlin apart, fully knowing she was getting her shoe first.
The press tour has officially took off running. We got A'ja Wilson talking about, oh, I've been waiting 2 years for this. Wait, 2 years for this? 2 years for this. 2025, 2023. CC's announced in 2024. Delayed, not denied in 2024. Backlash all 2024. I've been waiting 2 years for this. And then we got Cheryl Swoops. There it is. Swoops. There it is. Cheryl Swoops couldn't help but embarrass herself.
Now, I have to ask, if you know you're already getting your flowers, why let people act like you're being left out? Why let them stir up drama over something that was never an issue? Aya could have easily shut it down by saying, hey y'all, don't worry, I've got something coming too. But nope, silence. And now, the same people who were dragging Nike for giving Caitlin a shoe are suddenly acting like they never said a word.
And these WNBA fans that did not want to see Caitlin Clark come in and do what she did, which was dominate the league. Led the league in assist as a rookie. After the season, I think I counted she broke something in the neighborhood of 63 records last year. Either rookie records or just flat records by anybody, not even a rookie. And all these fans have been mad. And all the while, A'ja Wilson sat back and was just plenty happy to play the victim. She could have come out and made some kind of a statement that would have called off the dogs. Nah, she didn't do it.
But let's talk about the bigger picture, because this isn't just about sneakers. It's about how Caitlin Clark has been treated since the moment she stepped into the WNBA. From day one, the league and certain players have acted like she's the enemy, like she hasn't earned her place. And why? Because she's popular? Because she brought in millions of new fans? Because Nike recognized her record-breaking career as a massive opportunity? Let's be real, Caitlyn didn't steal anyone's spot. Nike doesn't hand out signature shoe deals. You have to earn them. And whether people like it or not, Caitlin Clark is box office. She's breaking records, packing arenas, and growing the game. That's exactly what companies like Nike look for. But instead of celebrating both women, fans were busy tearing Caitlyn down, pitting her against Aya. And Aya? She let it happen.
Could they give Caitlyn a shoe before they give Asia one? Oh, how could they do this? How could they treat Asia like this? Two-time MVP at the time, just before she even won the damn third one. They is wrong for doing this.
So, Aya Wilson stayed quiet. She let her fans go after Caitlin Clark, calling her privileged and attacking her nonstop. She could have stepped in, could have said something to calm it all down. But she didn't. And that silence, it speaks volumes. It shows just how toxic some of these players can be toward Caitlyn. The girl is getting harassed just for existing, and the so-called faces of the league are just standing by watching. But this isn't just about Aya Wilson. Look at Nike. They didn't even include Caitlyn in their original commercial. The biggest name in women's basketball, the reason the WNBA is pulling record numbers, and somehow they forgot about her? Then, at the last minute, they scrambled to add a voiceover, just to pretend like she was part of it all along.
Thing of all. So let's take a listen to this. Nike actually put this one out after the fact.
You want to know what I'm selling? Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark. I know you want to cheat.
Okay.
Nike.com.
They re-recorded it. Like, that's not even, I mean that. That's like, listen to it.
She's my favorite thing of all, so let's really listen to this. Nike actually put this out after the fact. They went back and re-recorded it. The line? Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark. I know you want it. Like, come on, Nike. They literally had to edit her in last minute. That's not even subtle. Just listen to it. It's obvious.
Cheryl Swoops made news. Now, she made news last week when she sat up there and was applauding Indiana Fever players, but then forgot to mention Caitlin Clark. She jumped all in my ass because I sat up there and said, hey, how you going to ignore Caitlin Clark? You know what she brings to the table. How you just going to ignore her? That's not an accident. Cheryl Swoops is a champion.
That wasn't an accident. That was a choice. So, how does this happen? How does the player who's revolutionized the league, who's brought in millions of new fans, just get ignored like this? The WNBA has a problem. They don't want to embrace Caitlin Clark the way they should. Instead of celebrating her, they're just tolerating her. Instead of uplifting her, they're letting others tear her down. The message is clear. You're good for business, but don't expect us to protect you.
Backlash on this was quite significant. Everybody was calling out, why are you not marketing your most marketable player? And I cannot disagree, because Nike, why? Your stock is going down. Do you realize that Caitlin Clark's jersey sold out right after she was drafted, with an increase in over 1,000% reported for the Indiana Fever?
Cheryl Swoops made headlines last week when she was praising Indiana Fever players, but somehow forgot to mention Caitlin Clark. And when I called it out, asking how you could ignore Caitlin and not recognize what she brings to the table, she came at me. But let's be real, it's not an accident. Cheryl Swoops is a champion, and Aya Wilson's silence only adds to it. It's not about her personally attacking Caitlin. She doesn't need to. She can just sit back and let everyone else tear Caitlyn down for her. Now, if Caitlyn's fans were going after Aya like this, we all know there'd be outrage. Think pieces, tweets, ESPN segments, the whole nine. But since it's Caitlyn, crickets. This isn't just a Caitlin Clark issue. This is a WNBA culture issue. Instead of rallying around the biggest star they've ever had, they're acting like she's the problem.
I feel so lucky to be a part of the Nike basketball family for more than 30 years now. And I love to see how the brand continues to champion women's basketball and athletes who play it. I didn't text Asia. I didn't call Asia. I'm talking like you're not here right now.
Aya Wilson is out here celebrating her signature shoe, and while she's soaking in the moment, flexing the first ever Jordan Brand women's signature sneaker. And rightfully so, it's a huge deal. She might not realize she's just exposed something in the process. Her excitement is shining a light on a bigger issue. The double standard in the WNBA. While IA's getting all the praise, we all know what would have happened if Caitlin Clark had been the one to land that major shoe deal first. The same people hyping Aya would have suddenly found a way to downplay it. And right on cue, here comes Cheryl Swoops, one of the first to congratulate Aya. The same Cheryl Swoops who's had no problem taking shots at Caitlin Clark the moment Caitlin started lighting up the WNBA. Cheryl had to jump in, making comments that conveniently questioned Caitlin's success.
Say her stats are today, what? 20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But
That's crazy.
5.6
Those are
turnovers.
hell of a number.
Those are hell of a number.
But to me, that's not dominating.
Yeah, it's only not dominating because she's a rookie.
Now,
if she's putting up numbers like Asia right now, would she be dominating?
Yes.
So
It's not surprising, though. This is the same woman who was nowhere to be found when other white players entered the league. But suddenly Caitlin Clark's presence is some kind of problem. And now, when Aya Wilson gets her flowers, Cheryl is front and center, cheering her on like the best teammate ever. The hypocrisy is wild that nobody's saying Aya doesn't deserve her moment. She absolutely does. She's dominated the league, won multiple MVPs, and is arguably the best player in the world. But it's the selective support that stands out. When it benefits the right people, it's all about
31.6, 7.4 rebounds, 9 assists, right? Did anyone expect her to do that in WNBA?
Those three?
No.
No.
Right? So she did.